So you want to upload a build to Steamworks or Itch.io or some other online service like that, but you don't want to go through using their GUI or looking a whole bunch of online videos on how to do such a thing. So welcome to the Build Uploader. This should be your one-stop place for anything just making a build and uploading it. So when you install this from either the asset store or from GitHub, you'll be greeted with this welcome window. At the top you have a few links up here so you can go get a bit more information if you're lost, or help if you need it, or support or report anything that you find. You'll also see a changelog for anything that has actually come out recently as well, just in case you're curious about what has changed between versions. So let's close that one. And the first thing you want to do is go to Preferences through Edit Preferences. That'll open this one up. And first thing you want to do is go to your Build Uploader settings here. These are all settings that are only on your computer and will not be shared with anyone else. And any sensitive information will be encrypted as well. So first thing you want to try and do is change your cached builds directory here to something smaller. This will be likely very long and you want this to be very short. So let's just go all the way down at that. So that way it's nice and small, and if you're using addressables or anything that has large names, this will prevent some problems in the future. We keep on deleting cache, so whenever you make a build or create temporary files, this will just remove them just to make sure your computer stays nice and clean. Default descriptions for your uploading. If you do want to change this to something very specific, that is very handy. This hopefully should be what most people will use. Save your upload configs, which we will get into a little bit later, so you don't have to manually click save every time. Keep decompress source zips off just in case you really need it, as well as saving upload reports, so you can, when you make an upload, there'll be like a file that's made and which has all the logs in it, and you can easily view those as you need them, and then change any notifications that you need. Moving on. So we go to our services tab. This here is where all the online services are that the Build Uploader supports. And this is all your information about logging into those services. That way it has access in order to do what it needs. Uploading to Steamworks isn't too difficult. You want to jump over to Preferences and you want to turn on Enabled. And then you want to download the Steamworks SDK. So by that you can just go to this little question mark and that will open up this website. And that's when you can click on this button and just download the latest Steamworks SDK. Once you've done that, you can just extract it somewhere on your computer and just choose the path by clicking on this and going to it. Once you've done that, you want to open the Steamworks SDK. You can either click this one here, which will bring up a little console window and start preparing it for you. If that doesn't work, you can always click on the show button and that will bring up this one here. You're going to go SDK, Tools, Content Builder, and then if you're on Windows, go Builder. If you're on Linux, go Linux. If you're on Mac, you go on OS X. Come into here and then you can just run the Steam CMD. When that does come up, you want to log in using your normal Steam login details. It'll be like login, and it'll be like something like that. And then you'd want to enter in your password. Enter it in gibberish. But once that is done, it would say you need to confirm your two-factor authentication or provide a Steam Guard code from your app. Once you've done that, you just want to enter in quit. And then that should be that done. Over here, you'd want to enter in the same username that you just entered. And then that is Steamworks all set up. And you shouldn't have to do any other two-factor authentication or anything like that because your computer is now authorized to use that account. Something I forgot to mention is it's recommended by Steam for you to actually have a separate account for your uploads, so that way anyone can actually have access to that and upload at the same time. And it won't actually disconnect you from your main Steam account when you try and actually play games, because this will log you out of your main Steam account. Next up, we want to jump over to project settings. And then in here, build uploader services, Steamworks, we want to add in a new app. I'm going to add one called last message. For the app ID, we want to choose the Steamworks settings, and then over in the depots, which is where all the information is. You can get the app ID from pretty much anywhere, just from here, or it's in the URL. It's literally everywhere. So you check that up here. We have, well, I have two depots. I have a Windows and a Mac. For the depots, it is typically just an extra 1 on top of your ID. And if we have a look over here, we'll see the app ID is just listed here. So 1141.031, 1104.132 is matching up there. For the branches, these are where they will be uploaded to. None branch just means it will not be uploaded to any branch for anyone to play. You can't upload to the default branch. The uploader won't let you, and that's because the SDK won't let you. So you can't just accidentally ship something live by accident. So you just keep none here, just as an example, so that way you can just upload anything as you need. I, for one, have an internal branch, which is where pretty much everything's going to go, so that way my team can play it. So that's all the setup done, and we can now move on to actually trying to upload. So if we go back to our build uploader tool, so Windows build uploader, open window, you'll be greeted with this, which is quite blank, which is good to start off with. We're going to start off by creating a new upload. Then over here we're going to choose a source, and this here is where all the files will come from, so what you actually want to upload. In my case, I want to create a new build. So I want to just make a new build, but if you already have a zip or files or something, you can choose your file zip, or if there's a particular URL, it'll use that, it'll download everything and upload it, so on and so forth. So we make a new build, but of course there's a couple already listed here, which is debugging and release. If you don't know what those are, you can go back to project settings and look at the build configs. These here are all information about what a build will be when it's done. These will include all your current edited settings when you first set this up. So a debug build will include all the debugging stuff. So, it's set to development build, auto script, deep profiling, stripping will be off, as well as all stack traces will be off as well. If you have a look at the release build, all that is off, and stripping is set to minimal, just to remove a bunch of stuff from your project. That is just not needed, but of course you can change anything as you need. We go back to here, and I'm going to choose a debug build, and it's already set to Windows 64 bit. So this will make a Windows 64 build somewhere on my computer. And if you're starting off, just click clean build. What this does is before it tries making a build, it will delete any previous builds that it has made using this config, just to make sure that there's no files left around that might mess with the build that you upload. And then we want to find out where we're going to upload this to. So over here you can copy it somewhere on your computer if that's what you choose. Or if you want to just upload it to GitHub, or upload it to itch.io or Steam, or if you just want to see what it's like to make a build, you can just click nowhere. This will make a build and then nothing will happen, but the build uploader will still kind of clean itself up. So we're making a Steam build, so let's click on this one. We need to choose our app, and then a depot, and then a branch. So I'm going to upload mine directly to internal. So this here is all set up now and we can easily upload, but one little thing as well is that we can open this little thing over here, and this will show all the kind of like extra or advanced information about everything. So you can see the debug build that we've set up here, so you can override it and make it, you know, Windows, Mac, or anything else that you need. Any platform that Windows supports ideally would work, as well as any architecture, but we don't want that for now. There's also modifiers, so after it's made a build and copied it to the cache folder, it can make changes to that build. So in this case, it's just removing any of the debug information that you really just don't want to upload to you know, like Steam or anything. Just removes those unnecessary things as an additional step for you. You can add in a whole bunch of other stuff as well. So if you want to compress, like zip everything or unzip something, remove, delete extra files, or if you want to do Steam DRM, so that way you can just, you know, it's anti-piracy. So people have to have Steam installed and own your game in order to actually play it. That's entirely up to you, so I'll just remove that. Same with Steam over here, a whole bunch more settings in case it's what you want. Anyway, if you want to send a message to Discord, you can do that here as well. That'll be in another video, but this is exactly the same steps as we've seen. For the description, this is what you'll want to appear on Steamworks. So I'll give you an example of that. It is like this little description here of what will appear on here. This won't be seen by any players, but it's a good indicator for you about what this particular build is. So right now it's set to V version, and if we click this little F, you'll be able to see what it actually becomes because we've formatted it. And you can hover over this to see what all the different formatting options are available to you, so you can mix and match and change whatever it is that you like, as well as see what they are. It does its best to show you what they are, depending on which F you've hovered over. So the best practice for this one would be to say hotfix for settings menu, something along those lines, so it helps you understand what it is. Or if you really do want, you can chuck in build number as well, because that means that, oh, that's a little asterisk. That'll tell you what the build number is, because as you build files, these will be included inside the build of your game, just as a little text file, I believe it is. And you can see that one here. So you go build uploader, include in streaming folder, and you can see what the last build number is. This will slowly go up as you make builds, even if they fail. Anyway, enough rambling. Let's click this. We want to do an upload, and we go yes. And now this will bring up a window and show you all the logs of what's actually happening from the build uploader, as well as the progress and whatnot. This is a good indicator here. We're saying we're trying to upload it to Steam. Let's try that one again. Here we go again. It's trying to upload to Steam. So now this is said, yep, it's done. We can see it's all set up here. So we go back to here. Just all refresh. And now we can see the build that we uploaded with the description has been put up. So if I were to actually play my game and switch to the internal branch, I'll be able to play that build that we just made inside the editor. If you want to see what that build actually was that was uploaded, you can go over to Preferences. I'm going to close that. General. And then you can go to this cache builds folder that we mentioned. Click show. Go here. Config builds. We made a debugging build. Windows 64. And then here's all the files that were uploaded. To upload to Itch.io, it's pretty straightforward. So you start off by enabling Itch.io, and then we want to find Butler. So you need to download that onto your computer just using this link and extract that somewhere on your computer. Then we want to include it here. The green shows that the path is valid. The next thing you want to do is probably go back to here, and you just want to run the exe. That might ask you to log in using your details. Maybe it will download a bunch more files, things like that, but it'll get it all ready for you to start using. Closing that. We can now jump over to project settings, and then inside here we want to create a new user. For the name of our user, you want to use the same name that you're going to be uploading stuff to. So this here is a project that I use to just test uploading a whole bunch of stuff to. So I want to just grab the URL, or the name from the URL, jump over to here and chuck that in. Now we want to list what games that user has. Same thing. So we jump to the same package and we just want to copy it from the link. Paste that there. Now that's all set up. If we jump over to the build uploader, we can now change our destination to itch.io. We're going to upload to this user and to this project. And now we need to specify what platforms or channels actually support. Now I'm just uploading a single file as an example, but I'm just going to choose Windows for now. And then down here in the description, I've actually included the date time. And this is just going to show what time this is uploaded. Just makes it a little bit easier for debugging. Now we can just click upload. Now it's uploading to itch.io. Yeah, it's done, nice and fast. And then we jump back to here, do a refresh. And should it be uploaded 140? Maybe not yet. There we go. So now it's uploaded. Perfect. All sorted. So setting up Discord is relatively straightforward on the uploader, but the Discord developer page is a little bit more complex. So to start off with, we turn this one on, and we want to create a new app. I've already got one here. We're going to call this one build uploader. And then we're going to need a token. So we need to create a new bot. So if we go to the developer page, we can create a new application. I'm going to call mine build uploader bot. I've already got one there, which is handy. Turn that on, go create. I am human. And this has gone and created a new application. I'm just going to change the icon to use the same icon from the build uploader package from within Unity. You can use as well as if you like. I'm going to put it in there. That looks okay to me. I'm just going to jump over to bot to make sure that the name matches the icon. These look good. Next step is we're going to go to installation. And before we do anything, I'm going to scroll down the bottom here. I'm just going to add bot to say we're going to give this application permissions as a bot within a server. And then you can send messages. And I'm just going to click save. So now this bot is able to actually send messages. And now we need to invite the bot to our server. So I'm just going to go to this install link, click copy, and I'm going to paste that in here. I'm just going to continue in here, add to my server, to my James Game server. Yep. And now we should be on my server. So if we were to go back here to the welcome page, you can see that he's been invited there, which is fantastic. Now, I want him to start posting inside this channel, which is bot test, but this is a private channel of which people can only access if I need, because you can see there's only a couple people in here. So I'm going to go over to here and go edit channel permissions, and under advanced permissions, I'm going to add a new one for the build uploader bot. And then in here, you can just say he can view the channel. Save changes, close that. and now we can see that we have the build uploader bot inside this channel. So now the bot can post messages in here. Now if we go back to Unity, we want to add in this token. So now over on the dashboard, we want to go to over here. I think it's under bot. We want to go reset token. Yes, I want to reset it. Now I've got to add in my two-factor authentication. Lovely, lovely thing, isn't it? There we go. I already had that set up. And then we have our token, which is this big, long, gibberish thing here. Click copy. Go back to Unity. We're going to paste that one in. And then we're going to go to the project settings. We want to create a new server in here. This will be James Games. We don't care about the server ID because it's not quite used yet, but we want to specify what channels we want to send to. So I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to call this one bot test, and we need the channel ID. Luckily, we can go to Discord, and provided that we've selected the channel, it'll be this last one here, and I believe this is the server ID. So we're going to paste this one in there. Now this one should all be set up. If we go back to the build uploader, now we can create a new post upload action. And I only want this to send a message if we're actually successful uploading. We're going to send a Discord message to, using our build uploader app, send it to the James Game server into the bot test channel. And I'm going to chuck in a new message in here, something along the lines of, sure, why not? Let's copy this one, and then I'm going to go build number as well. And to see what that says will be, oh, whoopsie, I forgot the curly braces, like that. There we go. So it's going to say v1.0 like that, uploaded. Great. So that's what I was going to say. Since I'm using build number, that requires a actual build config up here. So that's where it's pulling the build number from this thing. So if I were to click upload, this is going to create a new build, upload it nowhere, but we're going to send a message to Discord. This is just a nice way to test stuff, but you can still have it with Steam and everything, just as you have in the previous places. So that's successful. So if we jump back to Discord, you can see that it did post the message. Now, unfortunately, it didn't add in the build number, but that is a bug on my end, which I will fix before you actually find this. And there you go. That's a Discord bot. Easier than expected, but Discord does change their API quite a lot, making it quite confusing to work with. Uploading to GitHub is relatively straightforward. So we just want to turn that one on, and we want to find a secret token. So click on the question mark and it should take you to your GitHub page. Here you're able to create a new classic token. I'm just going to enter in my two-factor thingy here. That should be neat. I don't know why I put a 5 there. There we go. So I'm just going to set that one to expire in 7 days, but you should really change this one to no expiration. Just that way you don't have to create a new token every time you want to upload, because it's just a pain when that happens. Anyway, permissions, you want to be able to create new packages. So we want to turn on the right packages here. And then down here we go create token. I'll create a new thing here. So I'm just going to say build uploaded token 3. Create. And then here is our new token. I'm going to copy that. And then I'm going to paste that into here. Nothing to do inside project settings. It should all be nice and gravy. Over in the build uploader, we can then change this to actually be a GitHub new release. And we want to change a bunch of these settings. So we're going to have to expand this one out and start finding out what all of these are. So now the owner is the repository that you want to upload things to. So over here I have a test repository for me to just upload things to and see what's what. I'm going to grab my owner from here, so just in the URL, which is Steamworks, chuck that there. The repository will also be there. Test API upload, release name. So this is going to be what we actually want to call it. So I'm just going to say test upload, and I'm going to put the version as well, like that. Tag, this here will likely be, let's read the comment here. I'm just going to put the version. This is good practice, at least from the way I kind of see it, but I'm going to put a test as well. The target committed, if you don't really know what this is, you can just leave it, but this here should be the branch that your changes are on, or a commit hash that you want to attach this to. So I'm going to set this as draft and pre-release, so that way I can modify everything inside GitHub, and I want to zip everything together so that way it's just easy to just grab. So I'm going to choose just a standard release build for this as well, just so that way it can make a build and then it will upload everything to GitHub. So let's do that. Let's just make this one here. I'm going to do an upload, which will make a build and then zip everything and then upload it to GitHub. Seems all done. So let's check GitHub to see how it goes. Do a refresh in here. And it won't appear here because we set it to pre-release draft. So we jump into this. We can see we have our new one here, which is test upload 1.0. And then we have our nice zip here, which will probably be the same name as the config. And then we can have a look at that file and you can see it's got all the actual things in it. And then once we have done that, we can then edit it. We can see the tag is v1.0 test. Say like, hey, that's an invalid tag name. We can just change that to something like 1.0 or something like that. And then if we're actually done, we can change everything. You can change the name of your actual asset there as well. That is not pre-release. Change it to test.zip. I'm going to do a publish on that. Not valid. Okay, so let's change this one to like 2.0. Duplicate tag name. Of course it is. 1.0. Of course it is. Can I... take new ones, go 1.0, 0.2 on publish. There we go. Now it's nice and happy. So we did that, we do a publish. Now it's changed the name of the zip. We've got everything here, and then if we go back to the repository, you can see that it is now our final release. And that's that done.